What if the enemy you've been running from is actually sitting inside your own mind? You wake up, you breathe, you move through your day, but something's off, a whisper, a weight, a feeling that no matter how hard you try, something's holding you back. You blame time, you blame luck, you blame the world, but deep down beneath the noise, beneath the excuses, you know the truth. The real battle isn't out there, it's in here, in your thoughts, in the silent stories you tell yourself when no one's listening. I'm not good enough, it won't work, why even try? These aren't just passing thoughts, they're traps carefully laid, deeply wired, and they've been running your life longer than you realize. You think you're making choices, but most of them, they're reactions, automatic, programmed, built from years of negative thinking that slipped in like a thief in the night, stealing your confidence, your courage, your clarity. You didn't invite it. You didn't sign up for it, but it moved in anyway, and now it's rearranged the furniture in your mind, made itself at home, turned down the lights, and convinced you that this is just how life is. That this heaviness, this hesitation, this quiet dread before you take a risk, that's normal, that's you. But here's what no one told you and what science now screams from the rooftops: your brain is not fixed. It's not set in stone. It's not doomed to repeat the same tired patterns forever. Your mind is alive. It changes. It adapts. It responds to what you feed it, to what you focus on, to what you believe. And right now, you're feeding it poison, not because you want to, but because you don't know how to stop. You've been handed a script written by fear, edited by failure, produced by doubt, and you've been reading your lines without even realizing you could rewrite them. This isn't about being happy all the time. This isn't about slapping on a smile and pretending everything's perfect. This is about power, real power, the kind that lets you look failure in the eye and say, "You're not the boss of me." The kind that lets you wake up and choose your thoughts before your thoughts choose you. The kind that turns "I can't" into "watch me." And that power, it's not locked away in some distant future. It's not reserved for the lucky or the gifted. It's buried right now under layers of old thinking, waiting for you to dig it out. You've felt it before, that spark, that surge, that moment when you surprised yourself, when you spoke up, when you showed up, when you pushed past the voice that said stop. That wasn't luck. That was you, the real you, the version of you that's been suffocating under layers of self, doubt and conditioned fear. That version, it's still there, stronger than you think, louder than you remember. And it's begging you to wake up, because here's the hard truth: every day you let negative thinking run the show. You're handing over your future, piece by piece, dream by dream, opportunity by opportunity. You're letting an outdated program written by past pain, shaped by old wounds, decide what's possible for you. And that program, it was never designed for your greatness. It was designed for your survival. To keep you small, safe, silent, but you weren't born to survive. You were born to rise, and you can, not someday, not when things are perfect, not when you feel ready, now, starting with one thought. One shift, one decision to stop letting the past dictate your future. The tools are real, the science is solid. The path has been walked not by gurus, not by celebrities, but by ordinary people who chose to rewire their minds and reclaim their power. People who looked in the mirror and said, "Enough." People just like you, stick with this all the way to the end, because what's coming next isn't theory, it's transformation, step by step, thought by thought. You're about to learn how to hack your own brain, how to delete the programs that hold you back and install the ones that launch you forward, how to turn fear into fuel, doubt into direction, failure into foundation. This isn't motivational fluff. This is mental surgery, and when it's over, you won't just think differently, you'll live differently, you'll act differently, you'll become different, the person you're meant to be. They're not waiting for permission, they're not waiting for the stars to align, they're waiting for you to stop listening to the lies, to stop believing the noise, to stop letting your past write your future. That person is ready, right now, inside you, fighting to get out. All you have to do, start rewiring, start today, start now, because the greatest prison you'll ever escape is the one you built in your own mind. And the key, it's always been in your hands. You feel it, don't you? That quiet ache, the gap between who you are and who you know you could be. It's not laziness, it's not lack of talent, it's not bad luck. It's the silent erosion of your potential, grain by grain, thought by thought, stolen by negativity that masquerades as truth. And the worst part, you don't even notice it happening. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It slides into your mind like smoke under a door, slow, invisible, suffocating. You're not ready. They'll laugh. It's too late. And with every whisper, another piece of your courage crumbles. Another dream gets shelved. Another version of your future fades. This isn't drama. This is biology. Every time you entertain a negative thought, your brain releases stress chemicals, cortisol, adrenaline flooding your system with survival signals. Your body tenses, your vision narrows, your creativity shuts down. You're not thinking, you're reacting. And while your body thinks it's protecting you, it's actually imprisoning you, because in that state you can't plan. You can't create. You can't leap. You can only hide, and hiding becomes habit. Habit becomes identity, and before you know it, you're not the person who's afraid to try, you're the person who never tries at all. But here's what your fear doesn't want you to know: those thoughts. They're not facts, they're fossils, leftovers from old wounds, outdated beliefs, voices that were never yours to carry. Your brain clings to them because they're familiar, not because they're true. And familiarity, it's a liar. It tells you this is safe, when really it's just small. It tells you this is you, when really it's just what you've been repeating. The brain doesn't care if a thought is helpful, it only cares if it's repeated. And you've been repeating the wrong ones over and over until they felt like truth, until they felt like you, but you are not your thoughts. You are the space between them, the awareness behind them. The power that chooses which ones to feed and which ones to let die, and that power, it's still alive, still waiting, still yours. You've just forgotten how to use it. You've let the noise drown out your voice. Let the fear write your story, let the past hijack your future, but today, right now, you can take it back. Not with force, not with fighting, but with awareness, with choice, with one deliberate act of mental rebellion. Because here's the secret: your mind doesn't want you to remember. Every negative thought carries a crack, a tiny opening, a moment, just a heartbeat long, where you can interrupt it before it sinks its claws in. Before it becomes reality, that moment, that's your power window. 3 seconds, that's all you get. 3 seconds to catch the thought, to question it, to refuse it, to replace it. Is this useful? Is this true? Is this who I want to be? Ask it. Out loud if you have to, write it down, scream it into a pillow, but ask it, because the moment you question a thought, you stop being its prisoner, you become its master, and when you do that, when you interrupt the loop, something miraculous happens. Your brain flinches, it hesitates, it doesn't know what to do with a thought that's being challenged, and in that hesitation, you create space, space to breathe, space to choose, space to plant something new. Something stronger, something true. I am capable, I am learning, I am enough. These aren't affirmations, they're antidotes, tiny doses of truth that begin to dissolve the poison, and the more you use them, the more your brain starts to believe them, not because they sound nice, but because you chose them over and over, until they became your new wiring. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about returning to who you've always been, beneath the fear, beneath the doubt, beneath the years of mental clutter. The you that believed in magic, that ran toward challenges, that didn't flinch at failure because failure wasn't the enemy, not trying was. That version of you still lives inside you, still fights for you, still believes in you even when you don't believe in yourself, and all it takes to wake them up, one decision, one interruption, one moment where you say, no, not this time, not anymore. You weren't born to be afraid. You weren't born to shrink. You weren't born to whisper your dreams into the dark, hoping no one hears. You were born to rise, to speak, to build, to become, and that becoming, it starts in the mind. Not someday, not when you're ready, now with the next thought, the next breath, the next choice. Don't wait for the fear to leave, it won't. Walk through it. Don't wait for confidence to arrive, it won't. Create it action by action, thought by thought, rewire by rewire, because the greatest tragedy isn't failing, it's never starting. It's letting your mind convince you that you're less than you are, that you're weaker than you are. That you're stuck when you're simply sleeping. Wake up, shake off the lies, take back your thoughts, take back your power, take back your life, one thought at a time, 1 second at a time, one brave, beautiful, defiant choice at a time. This is your mind, your future, your masterpiece, and it's time, long past time, to start building it. You've interrupted the thought, you've caught it in the act. That whisper of I can't, you stopped it. You questioned it. You refused to let it sink its teeth in, and in that moment something shifted. Something cracked open, not loud, not flashy, but deep, real. Because when you choose your thought instead of letting it choose you, you don't just change your mood, you change your biology. You change your destiny. You send a signal loud and clear to every cell in your body, to every corner of your subconscious. I am not a passenger anymore. I am the driver, and that's when the real work begins. Not the dramatic overnight transformation, not the lightning strike epiphany, but the quiet daily rebellion, the ritual, the routine, the sacred 5 minutes that will rebuild your mind from the ground up. Every morning before the world rushes in, before the noise takes over, before doubt gets its first word, you sit, you breathe, you write 3 things you're grateful for, not big, not perfect, just real. The warmth of your coffee, the silence before sunrise, the fact that you're still here, still fighting, still breathing, still believing. Gratitude isn't fluff, it's fuel. It rewires your brain to scan for what's good, not what's wrong. It flips the switch from scarcity to abundance, from lack to possibility. Then you write your goal, not as a wish, not as a dream, but as a declaration. I am, not I hope to be, not I'm trying to become. I am. Present tense, already true, already real. I am confident. I am focused. I am unstoppable. Your subconscious doesn't understand future tense. It only responds to what you tell it is happening now. So you tell it the truth you're building, thought by thought, day by day, and when you write it, you feel it, you see it, you taste it. You don't just scribble words on paper, you plant seeds in your soul. Seeds that will grow roots, roots that will anchor you, roots that will hold you steady when the storm comes. This ritual, it's not magic, it's mechanics, it's neuroscience, it's dopamine on demand. Every time you write your I am, you trigger a surge of motivation chemicals. Every time you feel gratitude, you lower cortisol, the stress hormone that's been strangling your potential. You're not just writing, you're reprogramming. You're installing new software in the most powerful machine on the planet, your mind. And you do it every day, not when you feel like it, not when you're inspired. You do it especially when you don't feel like it, because discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you're becoming. And this 5 minutes, it's your daily crossing. You think the giants, the ones who changed industries, who built empires, who defied the odds, you think they woke up every day feeling unstoppable. No, they woke up tired, scared, uncertain, just like you, but they didn't wait for the feeling, they created it. They showed up for themselves even when no one else was watching. Even when their own minds screamed, why bother? They bothered. Because they knew deep in their bones that success isn't born in motivation, It's born in ritual, in repetition, in showing up even when you're shaking, especially when you're shaking, and here's what happens when you do this day after day, week after week. Your brain starts to believe you, not because you shouted louder, but because you showed up longer. You proved it through action, through consistency, through quiet, relentless commitment to your own evolution. The negative thoughts don't vanish overnight, but they lose their grip. They lose their power because now you've got something stronger. You've got evidence, proof written in your own hand, felt in your own chest that you are becoming. That you are growing, that you are rising. This is how you build unshakable confidence, not by waiting to feel it, but by acting as if it's already yours until your brain has no choice but to catch up. Until your body remembers what it feels like to stand tall, until your spirit remembers what it feels like to be free. You don't need to believe it all at once. You just need to write it, speak it, live it one small, sacred step at a time. And when doubt comes, and it will, you won't be defenseless. You'll have your ritual, your anchor, your proof. You'll look at your page, the one filled with I am, and gratitude, and you'll remember, I've done this before. I've chosen myself before. I've rewritten my story before, and I'll do it again, right now, right here, one sentence, one breath, one decision. This is your rebellion, your revolution, your resurrection. Not against the world, but against the version of you that settled, that silenced, that surrendered. You're not asking for permission anymore. You're not waiting for a sign. You're building your own light thought by thought, word by word, morning by morning. And no one, not fear, not failure, not the ghost of your past can take that from you, because the greatest power you'll ever wield isn't in your hands, it's in your mind, and you're finally learning how to use it. And then it comes that moment, the one you've been training for, the one your ritual has been preparing you for, not on a stage, not in front of a crowd, but in the quiet chaos of your own mind when doubt rises like a storm, when fear knocks hard on the door of your confidence, when the old voice hisses, you're not ready, you'll fail, they'll see right through you. This is the test, not of your talent, not of your luck, but of your training, of your rewiring, of your choice to no longer be a hostage to your history. You feel it, the tightening in your chest, the racing pulse, the urge to step back, to delay, to delete the email, to cancel the call, to silence the dream before it even leaves your lips. That's the trap. That's the moment your old wiring tries to reclaim you, but you're different now. You've been practicing, you've been building, you've been showing up for yourself in the dark before the world even knew you were fighting, and now you thank it, not because you're crazy, but because you're conscious. Thank you, doubt. Thank you for trying to protect me. Thank you for thinking you're keeping me safe. And then you move, not after the fear leaves, not after you feel confident. You move while your hands are shaking, while your heart is pounding, while the voice is still screaming, because motion kills fear faster than any affirmation ever could. One action, that's all it takes to break the spell, one tiny, defiant step. Send the message, hit record, walk into the room, say the thing, do the thing your fear told you not to, not because you're fearless, but because you're faithful to the version of you that's been waiting in the wings. Faithful to the ritual, faithful to the I am you wrote this morning, faithful to the truth that action doesn't follow belief, belief follows action. You don't need to believe you're worthy to take the step. You take the step and worthiness rushes in behind you, like wind filling a sail. This is the secret they never taught you in school, the secret no one puts on billboards. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision that something else matters more, your dream, your growth, your future self, the one watching you right now, begging you not to quit. That self, they're counting on you, not to be perfect, not to be fearless, but to be faithful, to show up, to try, to stumble and rise, to whisper again, when the world expects you to whisper enough, Every time you act in the face of fear, you're not just doing something, you're becoming someone. Someone stronger, someone braver, someone who doesn't wait for the storm to pass, but learns to dance in the rain. And with every dance, your brain rewires itself. It starts to associate fear not with danger, but with growth. Not with failure, but with fuel. You're teaching your nervous system a new language, a new truth. This feeling, it's not a stop sign, it's a starting line. You think the people you admire, the ones who seem unshakable, unstoppable, unbreakable, you think they don't feel fear. They do. They feel it deeper, they feel it louder, but they've trained themselves to hear something else beneath it, the whisper of their purpose, the call of their mission, the echo of their future self saying, "Keep going, I'm worth it," and so they move. Not because they're special, but because they've chosen to be stubborn, to be relentless, to be loyal not to comfort, but to calling. This is where most people quit, right here, when the fear feels real. When the doubt feels logical, when the old story feels true, but you're not most people, you're the one who stayed, the one who kept reading, the one who's still here breathing, listening, choosing. And that choice, it's everything, because the moment you take action, even imperfect, even trembling, you break the illusion that fear is in charge. You prove to yourself, to your subconscious, to the universe that you are the author. Not the victim, not the bystander, the author, and the more you write this new story action by action, day by day, the more your brain believes it, the neural pathways of fear weaken, the pathways of courage strengthen. It's not magic, it's momentum, it's physics. Motion creates more motion, courage creates more courage. One brave step today makes the next one easier tomorrow, until one day you wake up and the thing that once terrified you, it doesn't own you anymore. You own it. You've walked through it. You've survived it. You've thrived because of it. So when the fear comes, and it will, don't fight it. Don't argue with it. Don't wait for it to leave. Thank it. Honor it. Then move anyway. Let your hands shake, but let them type. Let your voice tremble, but let it speak. Let your knees wobble, but let them carry you forward. Because on the other side of that action is the person you were always meant to be, waiting, smiling, proud, saying, "I knew you'd come." This is your life, your mind, your moment. Don't let fear write the ending. You pick up the pen, you take the step. You speak the truth even if your voice cracks, especially if your voice cracks, because cracks are where the light gets in. And you're not here to hide from the light. You're here to become it. You've moved, you've acted, you've danced in the storm, and now comes the moment the world doesn't prepare you for, the moment after the leap, after the risk, after the bold move, when the silence settles, when the adrenaline fades, and you're left alone with the result. Maybe it worked, maybe it didn't, maybe you got applause, maybe you got silence, maybe you got rejection, maybe you got nothing at all. And in that quiet, the old voice returns, louder this time, smug. "See, I told you, you failed. You weren't ready. You should have listened." This is where most people break, where they retreat, where they vow never to try again. But you're different now, because you've learned the most powerful truth of all: failure is not your enemy. It's your teacher, your trainer, your secret weapon. You think failure is the opposite of success. It's not. It's the foundation, the raw material, the unpolished stone from which your masterpiece is carved. Every stumble, every no, every awkward silence, every rejected pitch, every plan that fell apart, it's not proof you're broken. It's proof you're building. Science doesn't lie. Your brain grows fastest when it makes mistakes, not when it gets it right. Error signals trigger deeper learning, stronger connections, faster adaptation. Failure isn't a verdict, it's data, feedback, a map not of where you went wrong, but of where to go next. Napoleon Hill didn't say success comes to those who never fall. He said it comes to those who fall and keep rising, who mine their setbacks for gold, who ask not why me, but what's this here to teach me, who don't flinch at the word failure, but lean into it, study it, Thank it, because every closed door, it's redirecting you. Every no, it's refining you. Every misstep, it's preparing you. You're not failing, you're calibrating, adjusting, leveling up.